One of the hardest questions to answer for any aspiring entrepreneur is, what am I giving up if I go into business for myself? If you're making $30,000 a year, $50,000 a year, the answer might be easy. What if you're making $200,000 or $400,000 or even $2 million a year? Would you still do it? Well, I did. And let me tell you my story. Hi, I'm Dafan, the ProfessorZ. I'm here to tell you why I love entrepreneurship and why I became an entrepreneur. There are two parts to my answer. First, I became an entrepreneur out of necessity. And second, I became an entrepreneur again years later because I chose to. I dropped out of high school at the age of 16, and I didn't go back to school until I was in my 30s. Throughout my late teens and early 20s, I struggled to make a living. I worked all the dead-end jobs, labor work, food service, delivery driver, but I wasn't getting anywhere. I understood that I was there to make money for my boss. If I bring in $30 an hour, I understand I will take $10 of it because he owned the business and that's his cut. So I understood early on that the only way for me to keep all the money I'm bringing into a business is to be my own boss, is to own the business. On the other hand, without a college degree, I really didn't have a lot of career choices. All the good paying professional jobs were not available to me. So in order to make more money than what I was making, I had to be my own boss. So I became an entrepreneur out of necessity. However, there are risks to being your own boss. For example, during the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008, I lost almost all of my customers. I closed my business, left my building, and went back to square one, trying to figure out what I was going to do next. I decided to go to school because I figured if I can gain other skill set that I didn't have, at least I will be insulated for a bit from the changes in the economic conditions. So I went back to school to get a law degree. I became a lawyer. And fittingly, I became a business lawyer. After graduating from law school, most of my classmates, including me, started working for large law firms. This is how a career in a large law firm works. You show up, you work 7 to 10 years, really hard, and you make decent money. And 7 to 10 years later, if you're good, you will be chosen to become a partner at a law firm where you can make upwards of $2 or $3 million a year. In the meantime, they start you off at almost $200,000 a year, and you can move your way up to $500,000 or $600,000. I have a secret hobby. Around Christmas time every year, I go online to find out what my friends are making as far as salary and bonuses goes. You see, at large law firms, your salary and your bonus is based on school year, and everyone publishes it. Just this last year, last Christmas, I went online and looked, and most of my friends are making $400,000 a year. That means if I didn't leave my job and become an entrepreneur, I would be making $400,000 as of right now. That sounds like a lot of money, and believe me, it is. However, I will choose it all over again. I will give up that earning potential to be an entrepreneur. You see, to understand that, I have to tell you a little story. Not long before I left the firm, there was this one evening where I had to work late. Now, at the time I was living in Philadelphia and working in New York. I commuted 2.5 hours each way every day to go to the firm to work and come back home. I would drive halfway to New Jersey and take the train to New York. And if I leave New York too late, I miss the train and it would be very difficult to get back to my car. So this evening I had to work really late. And there was some problem with the trains coming out of New York City, and I had to take a bus from New York City to Newark, New Jersey in order to catch the late train taking me to my car. As I arrived in Newark train station, I walked around, all the stores were closed, and the place is practically empty except for a few people. And those few people were homeless. As I sat there waiting for the train quietly, something dawned on me. And I reflected upon the time where I used to live in the train station. Remember, I was homeless as a teenager, and the train station was one of the places that I stayed at. And as I was sitting there as a New York City big shot lawyer, making all kinds of money, sitting there waiting for the train to arrive so I can get to my car and go home. And I started to wonder if I was really better off than when I was living on the street 20 years before that. True, I have more money, but I still are not free to do what I want. I have to go on this schedule. I have to wait for the train. I have to get up really early to go to work. And I lost control of my time. I really wish I can do more things that I want to do. I really wish I could pursue the things that I'm passionate about instead of wasting my life away at this train station. Now I admit it was really late, so I was feeling pretty exhausted. But still, the days after that, I keep reflecting on the same thing. Was I really better than when I was 20 years ago? 20 years before that, I made a vow to myself. I am going to work really hard. I'm going to do everything I need to do, everything I can do to better myself, to elevate myself, to create a better life for myself. But somehow that night sitting in the train station, I was feeling worse than I did. Part of it is because, yes, there is this career track that you can stay for a long time and work really hard and get somewhere. There's no guarantee that you get there. And in the meantime, you give up all these things. You give up family time, you give up personal time, you give up other things that you can pursue, all with the focus of getting somewhere. And what if you don't? What are the odds that you actually make it to the top? So at that moment, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 was not as appealing as being able to do what I'm really passionate about. So I decided then that I will consider taking a dive into entrepreneurship and give up my income so I can feel alive again, so I can feel like I can achieve whatever I want to achieve. Just like how I felt years ago living in the train station as a homeless teenager. I didn't come all this way and did all this work just to be stuck in a position and feeling helpless again. Not long after that, I resigned from my job and started my own firm, and then started several other businesses too. Going back into being a serial entrepreneur has been the best thing that's happened to me, other than my family. Not only do I not regret it, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Now the funny thing is, every day I commute 2 hours to go to my university to teach others about entrepreneurship. That I don't mind, because I'm doing something I want to do. I feel like I'm a success. I have achieved a great deal professionally. I get to choose what I want to do, which is to pursue all the things that I'm passionate about. And I feel satisfied. I was never able to say those things when I was working at a large firm. Don't get me wrong, life at a large firm can be fantastic. The pay is good, the work is sophisticated, you get a good experience, and you're well respected. But at the end of the day, are you having the freedom and are you satisfied? Success alone does not make a happy person. I truly believe in success, freedom, and satisfaction knows the ingredients to my happiness. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. If you feel like your life is missing something, you should seriously consider whether you want to be an entrepreneur. Don't let the money stop you. If you follow your heart, you can find success, you can find freedom, and you can most certainly find satisfaction. That's my story. I'm Dafan, the ProfessorZ, and that's my entrepreneur story. If you like my story, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I post new content every week to inspire your inner entrepreneur, and hopefully I can guide you and help you on your journey to success, freedom, and satisfaction as an entrepreneur. Thank you.